Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Gore Clown Shop.
Do you love all things horror? Books? Movies? Podcasts? Of course you do. Well, come on down to goreclown.com.
Original artwork by an indie horror fan for indie horror fans.
Use code SLEEPOVER at checkout to save 15% on your whole purchase.
Oh, and did we mention? Gore Clown is the only place to get official Spoiler Sleepover merch.
So don't forget to use Sleepover to save 15%.
Stay indie, suckers!
Greetings, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends. Welcome to Spoiler Sleepover, part of the Nerdcat Network. Join your hosts, Jason, Michael, and Rob, as they bring you on a slash-tastic adventure through cinema. Now, enjoy the show. It'll be a real scream of a time.
It's the end of the podcast, and we know it. And I feel pretty sad, actually. It's the end of our top threes, folks.
Your phrasing was kind of worrisome at first. It's the end of the podcast. Sorry, guys, this is the last episode ever. Oh, my God.
Eat a dick. Goodbye forever.
I was worried about your opening from our last episode talking about Halloween Kills. So before we talk about Halloween Ends in this episode, go back and listen to Halloween Kills if you have not, and also listening to the opening, because it might not show it in the recording, but I was just starting to say something and Rob just glossed over it. So I was like, motherfucker. Straight up called him a cunt.
Yes, you did. And I loved it.
That's how we start our two last episodes.
Yes.
Anyway. I feel like my mother's hand is flying up to New Hampshire to slap me in the back of the head. Anyway, in one way, shape, or form, here we are. We've made it to the end of our top threes. And of course, we are ending our top three season with Halloween Ends. And of course, as we've had this entire journey in the Halloween John Carpenter universe, we have myself, Jason Michael.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Dominique.
There we
We're
go.
Back to end it all with Halloween Ends from 2022. We're here to talk about Halloween Ends, which was basically built up to be the final fight. Who knows what could happen? At the top of this, there was two outcomes that could have happened in this movie. Either both of them died, because if Michael dies, either Laurie lives, or if Laurie dies, Michael can't live through that. Halloween ends. And the other one would be if Laurie lives and Michael dies. So if you haven't seen Halloween Ends, it's probably the most divisive of the trilogy, I would say. I personally enjoy the movie. I thoroughly enjoy Halloween Ends. I think that also might be because I moved up to New Hampshire just a few short days prior. So it was like, oh, this feels nice, nice start. And it was very nice. But I enjoyed Halloween Ends. We open up and we have Willie the Kid taking over the radio station of WURG, the WURG, if you will. And it's Willie just talking about Halloween and, you know, all the spooky things coming out. Michael Myers. We also get the new Blumhouse logo, and it was played for the first time on this movie, where you see Michael at a tree, then it pans into the house, and you see, like, The Purge, and a few other of their new movies referenced throughout the whole house. Halloween 2019, so a year after 18 and year after Kills, and we see a guy riding up to a nice little house, more of a mansion, because as soon as you get inside, Jesus Christ, that stairwell, if you have that casually in your house, good for you, but also, what the fuck?
Right?
Do you need that stairwell? What is the point of that stairwell?
Yes.
How many of those rooms do you really use in this house? It's you, your husband, and a kid.
Dramatic entrances.
Oh my God, Rob, as I live and breathe, slide down the stairs. Yep, so he goes
with
up to the house.
With a fucking, like, hand fan.
Yeah. My stars. We get the character Corey. As he goes up to the house, he's going to be babysitting for the family. And it's the mom in a flapper dress, and it's like a train conductor is the dad. He's over there playing a piano. And she's explaining, no movies, no candy after this hour. Help yourself to anything in the fridge. we get a look up the stairwell of just waiting to find out where Jeremy, their son, is. And he jumps out with a werewolf mask and provides our first jump scare of the movie. Mom starts to explain, hey, Jeremy has been a little nervous since the, last year's events. He's afraid of the dark, thinking Michael Myers. And he's like, it's fine. He sounds like a normal kid. He's just doing what kids do. And then we get the strange zoom of just, it's Halloween. We're going to have a good time tonight. The framing felt really weird on that one. And it's just dad in the background like, ha-ha, yes. We cut, it's honestly just a cut straight from this to the next scene, which Rob, I'm pretty sure you probably went, oh, in the theater, because it cuts to Corey and Jeremy watching a movie. Rob, what's that movie?
John Carpenter's The Motherfucking Thing.
That's actually the title. But
yeah, in theaters, I went, oh, look at that. My favorite movie's in this movie.
It's called back to the beginning of the season. And to Halloween 78, when they were watching The Thing from Outer Space. It's full circle. Jeremy's being a little shit. We get a glancing look at the banana bread that apparently the mom makes really, really great. And a knife next to it. Corey goes in. Chocolate milk. We hear a crash. Corey goes out being like, Jeremy, cut the shit. The lamp is turned over. And Corey starts getting a little worried because Jeremy was talking about, you're just scared about Michael Myers because he kills babysitters, not kids. And we've seen from the past 2 movies, he's an equal opportunity killer. He doesn't give a shit. Jeremy, he's coming for you.
Oh, yeah.
So Corey starts looking around. The door opens and he goes outside. We hear screams from upstairs. Corey goes up and sees a knife on the step. And he's like, Jeremy, where you at? He goes into an attic, which honestly, in this part, I was like, is Michael going to be in here? Could he actually be in here? But through the cold open, there's no Michael to be seen. Instead, Jeremy slams the door, trying to scare Corey. And Corey starts freaking out, scared of the dark himself, possibly, but also the fear of Michael Myers. And he starts slamming on the door with a knife in his hand, going, cut the shit, Jeremy. I'm going to fucking kill you. And as his parents come back, they hear, I'm going to fucking kill you, Jeremy. And then a slam. We get an angle of mom's face within the background, just the wide open foyer with the bottom of the stairs. And she goes, what was that? Jeremy, bam, falls from the top floor after getting bashed in the face with the door that Corey kicked open. And it's a awesome, dumb. It's very clearly a dummy, but it's still just like, ha! It's really brutal, but it's also like, oh shit, they did that. They just opened the movie with the child death. Holy shit. We get the running and screaming, what have you done? And then we get the title card with, again, another theme song, and we get ripping through pumpkins, showing old pumpkins, previous pumpkins, and then we rip into the last pumpkin, and it's just going through guts.
Yeah.
Open up the actual part of the movie with Laurie giving a voiceover, talking about the events of the last couple of movies, basically saying, the shape has ravaged the town, he's haunted me, he's killed my friends, and I've had to live with it. But now, after he killed my daughter in 2018, it's been 5 years, haven't seen him, I've moved on. I'm living with Allison, it's great. We also get some post-Halloween 2018 and kills scenes, where it's just how the people of Haddonfield have been reacting to it over the years. There's a couple in a Jeep in safari outfits that shot themselves. The cop's like, is it Michael? And Frank's like, no, he doesn't fucking use guns. And then we see, I didn't know this until rewatching it recently, Oscar's mom has Oscar's devil costume on, and she is unfortunately hanging from her front yard. So it's just now it's such a sad scene where it's like, oh, well, that's depressing. But now I realize who it is. It's like, ooh, that's worse. It starts very, very sad in this movie. And as we find out, Laurie is writing a book, basically her memoirs about everything. So there is a fire alarm that starts going off, and I hate fire alarms in movies because fuck, they're just so loud with the surround sound. And it's like, God damn it. The amount of times I've watched this on my TV and then had to crank the volume down because it's not even that loud, but the fire alarm is just blaring.
Yeah.
So Allison knocks the fire alarm out, and Laurie takes the burnt pumpkin pie out of the oven that she was making for her to bring to work. Obviously, she's not going with the pie, but Allison heads off to work and gets pulled over by a really creepy cop named Doug, as we learned out. They used to have a thing but he's just not understanding. Yeah, I didn't return your calls for a reason, buddy. So he's just like, oh, you're under arrest for being the prettiest girl I know. No, just kidding. Your muffler's about to fall off, though. You should probably go get that fixed.
Small
We
towns.
cut to Corey, who's riding a bike and almost just completely housed by a car within the first 5 seconds. He rides into work at a junkyard. We see a bunch of stuff, listening to Willie the Kid. With Allison, we saw the big billboard of Willie the Kid. She's listening to him. And he mentions, as we get to the junkyard, as Corey starts like taking a bumper off a car, and Willie the Kid goes, don't worry, until then, we'll be creeping it real here. And I went, oh, fucker.
Yeah, they stole it.
You stole it before we became a podcast.
I know.
Actually, shortly before. I don't think we got the inspiration from this movie. I think that's a generally used phrase. But hey, Halloween Ends, stop biting our shit. Anyway, we see...
And Spirit, knock it off.
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween did it too. We should trademark it like those assholes who trademarked blech. Have you heard about that bullshit?
Yes. Ridiculous.
Yep. Some fucking band trademarked blech for hardcore songs. So any merchandise that says it on there, they can't do it. Other bands can't say it anymore.
That's like me saying I can copyright thumbs up.
Anyway.
So we meet, I believe it's Ronnie is the stepdad, and he's like the owner of the junkyard, and he takes Corey over, gives him an old junky motorcycle. He's like, it'll probably get you to work on time. It's going to do better than that bicycle that you're riding. So we also get a quick little foreshadowing shot of the mulcher or grinder, or basically a big metal crusher, if you will, that just pulls shit into the middle of it and rips it to shreds. So after Allison got pulled over, she got pulled over on a bridge. It just pans down and we see an old man just singing something to himself. I didn't understand him. I don't know if it had like any significance. But then we get the little ominous Michael piano as we see a drain pipe in the back. We see the old homeless man at a convenience store, gas station, just rummaging through the trash as Corey rolls up on his bike. He goes in, so he grabs milk, goes outside, and I love and hate these characters so much. The band kids. They roll up, and they are very not 2022 at all. They're very like, hey, gonna get you. Just
some 50s going on.
Yeah, they got like stupid fake Brooklyn accents with Terry and Billy, who's got the worst mullet I have ever seen.
You know, they're supposed to be from Haddonfield, Illinois.
Do they all talk like that?
No.
Okay, so my point stands. Their accents are who. So they try to go in and get beer, but Billy got his ID taken because they're in high school, and they try and hey Mr. Corey as he comes out with his milk. You want to get us some beer? He's like, no, walk on. Have a great day. They're kids. You're an adult, Corey. Keep going. There's an entire plot line that didn't need to happen here if you just kept going.
Yeah.
And then Terry, the leader, starts being like a kid accosting an adult. Where the fuck do you get off, kid? They start noticing, oh, you're Corey. Oh, we know what you did. You did something messy. You killed a kid. And then breaks the milk in his hand, which then gets all over Terry. So Terry shoves him into the fridge, and then he lands on glass in his hand. Lori tells the kids to fuck off. They call him a psycho and a freak show. But which is which? Lori helps Corey up and gives him a knife and says, do you want to do it? Or do you want me to do it? And Corey stabs the back tire and hops in Lori's truck with his bike. We cut to Allison's work, where she's working with Dr. Mathis, as mentioned in Halloween Kills, as being the vulgar fucking boss that was being inappropriate during the Halloween party to the doctor and his wife. Or he was the nurse, she was the doctor. But those characters. This is Dr. Mathis. You can already tell he's just such a pain in the ass. We also meet Deb, who's this airhead type character, doesn't realize that she's just being a horrendous person. So Allison is wearing a cat mask. She's not big on Halloween things, obviously for multiple reasons. Corey's brought in with Lori. It's like a strange love at first sight almost, where Corey and Allison just like stop and stare at each other. Dr. Mathis then takes Allison with him to go help Corey as he pulls the glass out of his hand and goes, pretty, isn't she? Pulls out the glass from his hand and he kicks the tray, and Dr. Mathis starts yelling at Allison like, what the fuck's wrong with you? It wasn't her that did it, dude. You pulled glass out of somebody's hand and it was like, ow! We get some back and forth with Allison and Corey, and he's like, you shouldn't let him talk to you like that. She starts hitting on him, just going, yeah, I hear you got a motorcycle. Teach me to ride it sometime. And Corey's like, no, I don't think we should do that. I'm going to be late for dinner.
I have dinner with mother.
So he goes home, and Allison tried to invite Corey to the Halloween party, but he's like, nope, can't, sorry. We cut back to Lori, Allison, and Lindsay. So Lindsay's still here, and Lori talks about, you know what? Why don't you just rip off your shirt, show Grief your fucking tits, and say, let's go. Just saying, who cares at this point? Move on, try something new, and whatever happens, happens. We cut to Corey's, and his mother is asking, well, is your hand infected? What the doctor say? And Corey's like, it's going to be fine, as he starts texting Allison under the table, and Mom's like, who's that calling you? And she goes, well, boys that keep secrets don't get custard for dessert, and takes his plate. And we get a shot of just Ronnie going, don't tell her about the motorcycle, though. I now can understand this man, but could not understand the butcher when I first watched the movie. He's just like, oh, no, grandma, Chuck. Sorry, sir, what? Oh, we're right back with Lean. What? And it's Frank and Lori, and they're having a nice moment of reconnection. Lori goes, I like your face. She's all happy. She's like, oh, Frank, yay. He's been taking Japanese lessons and wants to go visit the cherry blossoms. Lori goes out of the store all smiling, and we hear, hey, what you smiling for? What you buy at the store? And Lori's like, I'm sorry, what? And we get a berating scene of, I'm sorry. You should be sorry. You see what he did to my sister over there? We cut over, and it's Sandra from Halloween Kills who got the fluorescent light bulb through the neck. She's still got the scar, and we now know that she cannot talk anymore, and I guess is wheelchair bound now. Lori is just all distraught now and basically like, well, fuck, that was upsetting. I was in such a great mood. The sister is basically saying, you went after a mentally distressed man, and you did not leave him alone. This is your fault. You tempted and provoked that man when you should have just left him alone. Sure.
Says the whole group that chased another mentally ill man to his death.
Mm-hmm.
Pointing fingers.
Fucking mob mentality. I mean, they talk about it later where it's like Corey was just, he had an unfortunate spill. And since Michael went away, Haddonfield was looking for a new boogeyman. And they said, you're it, kid. And basically just turned the entire town on him. It was an accident. It was a very unfortunate accident, but it was still an accident. Allison picks up Corey. They're going to a Halloween party. And this is where we get Lindsay's the bartender, and Corey's like first actual time out in public. That's why he's wearing his scarecrow mask, because he doesn't want to be recognized. He knows what happens. And we get a couple cool things here. The first being, we get the Dead Kennedys Halloween, but we also get a nice in-person cameo from Dominique's very, very favorite background. We see Nick Castle in like a anatomic correct Halloween costume in like a trench coat. He's like a flasher, but just in a different way. So Corey bumps into him and he turns around and goes, hey, Scarecrow! Opens his trench coat and it's just all like organs and shit. And he goes, see anything you like? A nice little reference to PJ Soul's character from Halloween 78. We get a whole dancing scene, which actually, this was not originally advertised, at least when I went to go see it. It only came out after the movie. And Rob and I went to go see, I think it was Creature from the Black Lagoon and The Mummy at that point. And there's a warning in the lobby saying, if you're going to see Halloween Ends, there is a massive seizure warning scene, flashing lights, the whole 9 yards. This dance party, I originally thought Corey was convulsing on the floor because I was like, oh shit. It looked like he was about to just start foaming at the mouth because he just started dancing and like pulling at his shirt on the ground. I'm like, what? Allison, this isn't good. Allison, call somebody, help, please. Jesus. He gets up perfectly fine, goes to the bar, tries to get a beer. And we see that Jeremy's mom is sitting at the bar and just goes, hey, having a good time, dancing. It's great. How fucking dare you? And just starts berating him in public. He leaves almost in a similar fashion with Lori in Halloween 18, just starts running towards a fucking road. And it's like, oh, fuck, is he going to do it now? But Allison tries to plead with him. Corey's like, this is why I don't go out. You brought me in there and then you left. It's weird blaming. And then he takes off. And then we see him walking on that very same bridge she got pulled over on. And who comes back but the band kids? Earlier at the junkyard, when Allison came to get her muffler fixed, we see that Terry and his dad roll up with the car. His dad brings him in with the tow truck and the car, and he's like, yeah, because fucking dipshit here drove 3 miles on a flat and doesn't know how to change a fucking tire. Slaps him in the back of the head. So Corey, as they start picking on him, Corey's just like, you're just pissed off because your dad fucking hates you. I know when people hate people, and god damn it, does your dad fucking hate you. And so Terry just goes, he hates me? Throws him over the goddamn bridge. And Billy and Terry are just like, he fell. That's why I saw. Piece of shit deserved it. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You're teens who just possibly killed somebody and you're going to be okay with this. I know what you did last summer. Again. Ooh. I know what you did last Halloween. Ooh. Corey gets thrown over the bridge. The knife that he had from when Lori stabbed the tires, he actually had and drew on the kids. Corey's body gets dragged away and into the storm drain. We get a quick cut back. Allison's pissed off at a microwave.
As you do.
We see Corey waking up in the sewer with a rat on his neck, and he's like looking around like, how did I get here? Oh my God. Starts walking out, and a hand reaches through the wall and starts choking him. And it's Michael, the shape living in the sewer for the past 5 years. And he starts looking into Corey's eyes, sees the trauma that Corey's been through, and it's relatively similar to, I don't know, some way he sees he's the boogeyman too. Or
I've killed.
Yeah.
We have a connection here.
Yeah. Okay. You might be okay. And he lets him go. So he falls out, and then the old homeless guy comes up and goes, you go back in there. You get me that mask. I'm Michael Myers, and draws the knife that Corey dropped. And Corey then stabs him with it, trying to, save himself. So another accidental kill / self-defense. And Corey takes the knife and chucks it into the woods, and then goes and gets Spike from the junkyard and rides up to Allison's house, which Lori is working on her book upstairs. And she looks out the window, and we see a very similar shot to not only when it's Michael with the laundry, but also Michael with the hedge. It's Corey standing outside in a very similar fashion. And then she goes out, looks at the hedge, and he's perfectly behind her and just goes, Lori. Scares the shit out of her. Dude, I understand you're feeling a lot of stress at the moment. Maybe go up to someone's house like a fucking normal person. Knock on the door.
No.
She's
Michael Myers,
wait
man.
until she looks. It's just like, dude, go knock on the door. Have a conversation. Because she comes out and is immediately going, red flag, red flag. Because he's like, hey, you know those kids? Yeah, I got jumped and thrown off a fucking bridge. Allison comes out. They take a walk together, and he goes, I killed someone. And we go, oh shit, he's going to tell her about the guy under the bridge? Nope. He brings her back to Jeremy's house and starts explaining all the events of the night. It was an accident, and now the entire town has turned on me. I know you've experienced that with like Michael, and you survived. We also saw right before this, when Allison went to work, that Deb got the promotion from Dr. Mathis instead of Allison, who was originally up for that promotion. But Deb
is a whore. Sorry.
We cut to the diner, which comes back a few times, and it's Allison and Corey talking about, like, Haddonfield sucks. We should leave. Just burn the whole place to the ground and just go somewhere. We see Doug again, good old Doug the cop, and they're having Joe Grillo's party, and he's had a couple and is getting very, very close and very, very, I'm not going to take no for an answer with Allison. Mm-hmm. And Corey just goes, she said we're good, dude. Fuck off. And he goes, you got a problem? Like, no, I said we're good. And he goes, oh, you're Corey Cunningham. Can't sleep at night, so you go to Mr. Aggravated Manslaughter. And he stands up and just like stares him down. And Doug just goes, no, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Corey drops Allison at home, and she invites him in. He goes, next time. Because he takes off. He knows Doug is following him. And Corey goes to the underpass where he's been this entire time. Doug shows up and starts following him with his flashlight. He sees a body, or a shadow silhouette, in a tent, thinks it's Corey, opens it up. Nope, it's the homeless guy from before. Corey then jumps over him with a jacket and tries to like smother him. And Doug hits him in the face, and he runs away down the sewer drain laughing. And this is where we get that fucking connection, because we needed it. I went, oh, in the theater. Doug goes up to the storm drain and goes, you don't fuck with Doug Mulaney. And it's like, oh, the Mulaney's are back. Yay.
Yeah.
Do you think he was that kid with the awful carrot top hair? Or do you think this is another Mulaney? And it's just a family of a bunch of random fucking people.
I mean, I would assume it's probably supposed to be the ginger kid, because he's a prick and a weirdo. But, you never know. But he gets what's coming to him.
I loved this scene, because obviously we get to see Michael back in action. Doug goes down the storm drain as well, and he starts looking around. I didn't see the thing they were originally looking at. I only saw when he pans to the wall, you can see Michael clear as day in the back. He's not really all that hidden. Michael's right there. And then he pans the flashlight over that exact area after. But apparently he's looking at the wall, and there's like a face on the wall. One of those, when people grow pumpkins with like a mold over it, it kind of looks like that.
Huh.
I didn't see it until this most recent watch through. I was like, oh shit, there really is. But Doug pans the flashlight back and sees Corey standing and staring at him. And Michael charges out of that little side tunnel, and Doug just pushes him back down. Because again, Michael woke up for the first time in 40 years, got shot repeatedly, lost limbs or appendages, stabbed, beaten, burned, the whole fucking 9 yards. And then this man finally had a moment to just scream internally, like, everything hurts. And he's been taking a break for 5 years. The man's a little rickety. Michael's trying to kill Doug, or at least trying to harm him in any way, but the man is old. The man is beaten down. The man is broken. And Corey bashes him with his flashlight and then grabs him and holds him down. And he's like, do it. Show me how to do it. So Michael reaches very hunched back into the wall. We get the theme now as he pulls out the old bloody rusty knife from 18 and kills. He slashes Doug's throat first and then stabs him a couple times. And he starts like shifting robotically, like, oh my God, hang on, something's waking up right now. And it's like the monster has rebooted. It's cool. I like how awesome. He's snapping out of a 5-year hiatus with this.
It's his money shot.
Pretty much. And he just adjusts, stands up a little bit straight, still got a little bit of the, just continues to house Doug and stab him and stab him and stab him and stab him. It's a awesome moment because it's like, oh shit, we get to see more Michael. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Deb is basically just mocking Allison. It's like, you're sleeping with that guy, the fucking child killer. It's just weird. I mean, that's like if Lori wanted to, bang Michael, and Allison's like, Deb, shut the fuck up, please. And she goes, oh, I know, I talk too much. God, it's just my curse. It's like, fuck off, Deb. So Deb and Mathis leave, and we get, oh, hey, look at that. The reason she got the promotion. They go back to his place as Deb goes off into the bathroom or to the bedroom and sees a robe, whatever the fuck. And Mathis goes outside to the pool area where we hear a crash and a scream. And then Deb starts going through the house, goes outside where it's a shadow. I did not notice this until the second watch through. You can see Corey with the corkscrew in the shadows in the back, punching Mathis in the face. And it's a very, very faint sound, but you can also hear like the from each hit. Very, very faint, but you can actually see him in the background punching him. Deb turns on the lights, and it's Corey with the scarecrow mask and the corkscrew that Mathis was using on the wine, just housing his face in a plastic bag, no less. Deb runs away, screaming, tries to call the cops after she's closed the door. Michael opens another sliding door, grabs her, pins her to the wall, and does everybody's favorite kill, pinning her to the wall with a knife. It's a fun little moment, too, because he looks over at Corey. He's like, take notes, kid. Just pins her to the fucking wall. And I know I can't be the only person who thought this moment while watching it. As soon as that kill happens and then it cuts to like synthy music, it's just Corey on a motorcycle. And I'm like, do you have Michael on the fucking back of that motorcycle? Nope.
Just the two of them together.
Michael's
just got his arms wrapped around his waist.
Would have loved to have seen it, but nope, it's Allison on the back. And actually, before this, I think after the Doug kill, Corey goes back to Allison's, and they go upstairs for some hanky-panky, and Lori shows up and sees them going upstairs, and Michael is also there, and he sees Lori, turns around and walks away, and she's like, what the fuck was that? They start trying to drive away, then they wind up on top of the radio station, the WURG, the WURG, with Willie the Kid, and basically just talking about, when I was younger, I wanted to climb to the top of that radio tower. I thought I was invincible. So he jumps off the fucking roof, as you do.
So weird.
Willie the Kid comes out and is like, what the fuck is going on out here, you idiots? This is private. Oh, Corey Cunningham. What you doing here, you stupid bitch? And it's like, cool. This character is great, and I don't like him, but I love him.
He's a love to hate and hate to love.
He's like, he even knows it because he's like, oh yeah, once Willie gets up in your head and when you hear his voice, that's the only thing you'll hear. Willie the Kid's always going to be on your brain.
I like him.
Basically, yeah. He's like, cool, get out of here before I fuck y'all up. And this is where he goes back inside, and Allison and Corey finally decide, you know what? Fuck this place. Let's leave. They decide to try and leave, but Corey goes back home, and his mom says, I can smell her on you. It's disgusting. And then he ignores her, and she slaps him and then kisses him. It's a slap and then a quick, oh, I'm so sorry, and kisses him on the lips. And it's like, what is happening with this dynamic? I don't know.
Weird things.
The Bates family situation. It's real strange.
And as his mom walks away, you just see Ronnie just like, I hope you find love. Just sitting on the chair. Cool. Thanks, buddy. Corey leaves the house. He's sleeping at Jeremy's house, like in the puddle of blood, and we hear a thud repeating on the wall. It is Lori rocking in a chair back and forth going, fun little place you got here. You could be happy, but just not with my granddaughter. And Corey's like, what the fuck? Woman, you set us up. You brought me to her. You did this. This is your fault. And she's like, yeah, well, you can't see her anymore. So fuck off. And he starts explaining, well, she can't be happy with me, then she can't be happy with anybody. Ooh.
That's toxic.
Yeah, and as he's having this whole monologue trying to tell Lori's already fucking ski the fuck daddled out of the room and out of the house. And he goes and chases after her with the goddamn fire poker. Corey calls her while she's at work, and he's like, we have to go now. Your grandmother wants to kill me. Okay. First off, not true. Second off, stop manipulating this. He's like, let's meet at the diner.
But he has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something snapped and it's not good. He says we need to meet at the diner at 9 tonight. We're leaving Haddonfield. He then takes off on his bike and goes back to the sewer drain and goes, you've got something I need, and starts trying to fight Michael. And at first, it's very Michael-sided. Like, he pushes Michael, and Michael just goes, bitch, throws him, and goes after him, and then somehow brings him back to the middle and Russian leg sweeps him. And I get it. It's been 5 years. Michael has been through hell, literally, and shot, stabbed, the whole fucking 9 yards. The man is... He stood up at the beginning of this movie, and all of his bones went... That's how he shifted back into shape. No pun intended.
So me, on a daily basis.
Yeah, so meet at the diner. Corey Russian leg sweeps Michael and runs away with his mask. And Michael just sits up and looks back like, oh, you fucker. We see that Corey has just started going full homicidal maniac mode because he's got his own overalls from the garage, and he has lured the band kids there because he goes back to the gas station, carves some shit into their hood, and takes off. And they follow him back to the dump, and it's like, wow, this place is a dump. It is a fucking dump, you idiot. And they're just
dumbass.
The band kids start devising a plan, or well, Terry devises a plan to chain his bike and drag it, and just until there's nothing fucking left. As they're making this plan, the gate to the dump closes. We then have Billy going back to the car to get the car backed up, and Billy doesn't return. Terry's like, Billy, come on, let's get this punk. And he goes over, and Billy's leaning forward, and it's a very quick moment. It's like, miss it. Terry goes, Billy, what are you trying to do? Suck your own? And then he tilts his head back, and it's just Billy with a drumstick through his eye. And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So Billy's dead. We then see the lights flash on. I think there's Margot and then the other chick. Margot is basically the one who's like, Terry, stop. I hate this. I don't want anything to... She's the moral compass of the group, even though nobody in this group is safe. As far as I'm aware, they're all pieces of shit.
Yep.
So it's Margot and the other girl, and the headlights on the truck come on, and she does the one thing in movies that drives me nuts, where it's like, if there's a car chasing after you, or, say, for example, in Prometheus, where it's the big ship rolling down and they're running in the shadow of the ship, take a fucking turn. Get out of the straight path. So these two try to scale the fence. The first one gets out. Margot gets out and stands on the other side of the fence because the truck is barreling at her and runs her over with the fence. She's still alive, though. Meanwhile, Ronnie's in the office just watching Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, I'm pretty sure. And he hears things, and it's like, oh, what's that? Terry's banging on the window like, fucking help, please help. Ronnie gives him a rifle and says it's loaded and goes out. Whoever the other friend is, Corey, or what we see as Corey / Michael, gets out of the truck and wails her in the head with a monkey wrench. So she's fucking dead, and we see the aftermath of her in a second. But Ronnie goes up to help Margot, who's under the fence, like, it's okay. And he looks up and he sees Corey standing there with the Michael mask. And Terry goes, you're fucking dead. I got you. Aims the rifle, pulls the trigger, and Ronnie stands up to just get bipped in the fucking head and drops. Corey's gone. Corey's pulling some goddamn magic shit now. And Terry goes over and goes, oh my God, she's dead. Just face beaten with a monkey wrench. And Margot is like, and you're dead too. Corey's behind him, hits him with the butt of the rifle, and then uses the blowtorch to start cooking his face. Yeah. And it's sizzly, and it's grilling his face. It's great.
I love some good head drama in a horror movie.
And you're about to get more.
Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah.
Straight up stomps on Margot's face. Yeah. It's very, very quick in comparison to 18. 18, you see it explode. This one, you see it explode, but it's very done. Like, okay. And then he takes off in the truck because, Michael Myers learned how to drive. He was doing just fine last night. Someone gave him lessons. We cut to Corey goes back home, and his mom is like, Ronald, is that you?
McDonald.
I got some laundry. He reaches into a drawer. We're getting a first-person shot similar to, 78 and all those old great shots of Michael Myers, and it's just a knife. And there's an extended cut where it's just more, like, artsy. It's just her getting stabbed, and it's flashing away, and then it's, like, very Psycho-esque almost, where it's cutting back, and it's just, Corey kills his own mother. Fucking just stabs her repeatedly in the face and everywhere else. This is where Laurie sees Allison and just goes, hey, were you planning on telling me about leaving? And Allison basically just snaps and goes, no, I wasn't. I'm trying to be happy. I'm trying to move on. You can't. Michael Myers, boogeyman. My parents are dead. My friends are dead. All because of you. So more of this shit has now come back to Laurie of all your fault. And this time it's from her own family. We cut to the Wurg, and we see Willie the Kid answering phone calls talking about Michael Myers. And a caller's like, you shouldn't be talking about that shit because fate, it just finds a way. And it's very, again, reminiscent of that classroom scene, talking about fate. Fate's always going to be there. And we see Corey Michael pull up in the truck and walk past the window, and he goes into the lobby, and we see who, Rob?
We see Darcy the mail girl. Yeah, good old Darcy. Oh, man. Joe Bob Briggs is a shit, man. I love his show. He's so good.
She, I mean, obviously you see her getting stabbed in the background, but she had more of a kill that was just completely cut from the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would have been great to see. But she's using scissors and cutting like those paper chains of like pumpkins or gingerbread men that you usually do. And she's like, can I help you? And just gets fucking housed while Willie's dancing to music in the other room. And then Corey comes in and we get another one of those everyone in the theater went, oh, scenes, because he starts bashing his head off the turntable over and over and over. And Willie's face is like his jaw's broken. It's like open. His tongue is falling out. And what does Corey do? Takes those fun little scissors. And I heard people in the theater go, no, as he reaches up and cuts off Willie's tongue. And it just falls onto the turntable. Willie dies.
I love it.
The tongue is causing the record to skip as it's being broadcast because Allison's
bounced around,
and you just hear the music just skipping.
I stand by. I'm not a fan of, especially in a movie like this, CGI. I don't think is necessary, but just for the only moment in comparison to Kills, the only moment of fucked up comedy, the CGI tongue was totally fucking needed. Because Kills arguably has a lot of humorous moments throughout it. Ends does not.
Look, listen. No, it's got, again, with Kills and Ends, some of the cheesier writing comes into play. I think that was more of its downfall, if you will. Because everybody's on the whole Corey train. I agree. If he was introduced in Kills and then this continued, I think that would have been a little better. I still thoroughly enjoyed the movie, as I said at the top of it. But I get the grievances. I completely do. We cut back to Laurie, who is basically like, well, everything's fucked. My family's dead. My only remaining family member hates me and is running away with a psychopath. Sick. She goes upstairs and it starts alluding to she's gonna end her own life because she opens up the safe, takes out the gun, calls the cops, says, "I'd like to report a suicide." And she lights some jack-o'-lanterns, walks off to the side, and we see a camera angle coming up the stairs and looking at the door. We hear a gunshot and we see a splatter on the wall. He then opens the door and it's Laurie standing there as you see the pumpkin and she's pointing a gun at the door going, "Do you really think I'd fucking kill myself?" And just shoots Corey in the chest twice. He falls back and crashes through the banister and lands on the ground. She goes down and is basically like, "Cool. You know, you came here to kill me." Shoots the wall, empties the gun. "Fair game now. Go ahead. Do it. Fucking kill me." Meanwhile, Allison has been waiting at the diner and texting Corey, not responding. She went back to his house. Obviously, nobody responded because nobody was there or alive in there. And then as Corey is like bleeding profusely, he then hears the muffler that Allison never got fully fixed. And he goes, oh, we're going to play this fucking game. And Laurie's like, "You got nothing left. You can't have her." And he goes, "If I can't have her, no one can." Stabs himself in the neck. And Laurie goes, "Are you fucking, god damn it, really? You stupid." And what's she do, though? She pulls the knife out of his neck, which I know, granted, there probably wasn't a good chance of survival, but if you are stabbed with something, don't remove it.
Leave it in.
Leave it in.
That's what she said.
That's what you said several times in the episodes when it's like, that was questionable. Keep it.
Yep. I do that all the time.
Yeah, you do. Corey stabs himself in the neck, and Laurie's like, "What the fuck? Why? God damn you." Allison comes in, sees Laurie with a knife, and Corey dead or bleeding out on the ground. She goes over, starts screaming like, "What the fuck? Why you? Ah!" And runs out. Laurie crumples in a little pile of human against the wall, and Allison takes off in her car. Laurie sees her side door is open. Now, this could have been one of two things, because obviously Corey had to get in the house somehow. So it could have been that. But I mean, I didn't think of that until just about now, because I always had the envisioning of, ooh, Michael's here. Good. She sees that too and goes up to the door, slowly closes it as we see Michael come in, grab his mask back, and then goes over to Corey to take the knife. Corey's still alive, grabbing at Michael. So Michael grabs him and snaps his neck. And Corey is now officially out of the picture and dead.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, fucking finally. Laurie walks by in the background, and Michael looks up like, there you are. Yes, I'm coming for you next. And Allison is driving down the road, and she sees the Werg station in flames, burning it down. And this is her moment of, oh shit. Okay, no, this was Corey. Laurie was right this entire time. Corey's fucking insane. She gets a call from Frank going, "Hey, Allison, where's Laurie? We got a call from her address about a suicide." So Allison hightails it back home. And at this point, I forgot about Allison up until we see her next. Because Michael's walking through the kitchen. There's a little cord ceiling fan or something. Either way, something's tapping and making noise. Laurie stops it and Michael goes, "Ah, there you are." Starts walking up towards the door, and the microwave that exploded earlier in the movie when Laurie was talking about showing grief your tits exploded something again. He gets distracted. She kicks open the door and houses him in the face with a fire extinguisher, and we get the fight that we've been waiting for. Now, a lot of this was Jamie Lee Curtis and James Jude Courtney. There's behind the scenes of them doing the stunts and like getting thrown over shit. She kicks him in the knee, and there's a brief moment of, "Oh, sorry, Jim." And you hear Michael in the mask go, "Oh, it's okay." It's just such a lovely interaction of just, oh, they're nice. They're friends in real life and not just trying to kill each other. But the fight is a couple minutes long. It's awesome. There's a lot of callbacks. There's the sewing needle, but the sewing needle where she tries to get him. And I was like, ooh, she's going to get him. And it's the brief moment of, not today.
Not again.
Michael stops it and tries like stabbing her in the ear with it, which gets a little bit, not the full extent that we wanted, unfortunately. I would have loved to see just like it hanging out of her ear. And then,
would you like an ear piercing for free?
But then again, another thing of like her pulling the knife out of Corey's neck, she probably would have pulled the fucking sewing needle and pulled her eardrum out with it. But yeah, talking about the hand, they're like fighting with knives. She's trying to reach into the sink and grab a knife, but Michael grabs her hand, flips on the garbage disposal with it, and then tries to put her hand into the garbage disposal. It gets her a little bit, but it's then headbutt. He throws her over the counter. It's just a lot of stabbing and beating of each other. I think at this point now, she has the knife and hides, and then stabs him in the hand, stabs that hand down to the counter, and then is on top of Michael holding his arm down, reaches into the side drawer, pulls out another fucking sharp stabby steak knife. He reaches up to try and like stop her as she stabs him in the hand, pins it down to the counter, grabs a fucking frying pan, hammers it down just to make sure, and it looks like he's crucified on the fucking counter almost.
Yeah.
And then for good measure, tips the fridge down onto his legs. Now Michael is pinned to the counter, pinned under a fridge, and Lori is moving around freely. This is where she takes off his mask and he's still trying to be like, nope, don't you fucking dare. God damn it. And then she flashes the knife and starts making it look all pretty. And she goes, you know, I thought you were a monster, but now you're just a man who's about to stop breathing. And guides the knife across his neck as we start hearing the gurgling and the bubbling as Michael is bleeding out from the throat. And this is where another awesome fucking Michael fighting savagely and just, if I go down, you're going down with me, rips his hand out from the knife and grabs her throat. In this moment, I was like, please, just larynx. Rip out the larynx. Show us. And it's flashbacks of 78 and 18 and her fighting and just going, do it. Fucking do it. So I was like, cool. This is what I wanted. Both of them go down. If Michael dies, Lori dies. That's it. That's all I want. Allison shows up, and I completely forgot about her until this part. I was like, God damn it, no. She grabs Michael's arm and breaks it. And then Lori holds Michael's hand and slowly guides the knife up his forearm. And he's bleeding out and kind of is like holding on to her finger as his hand falls down. And Michael has officially bled out at this point. Frank shows up and is like, oh my God, is everybody okay? And Lori goes, he's dead. Allison goes, not dead enough, which is good because when he was decapitated in H2O, Resurrection just had to be like, oh yeah, that wasn't him. They wanted to find a way to make sure, A, nobody can take up the mantle after this. This is ends. It's ending right now. So they strap Michael to the roof. They know it's Michael. It's a paramedic wearing Michael's mask that he swapped costumes with. It's just...
Or Ben Tramer.
Yeah, oh God. Or Corey. Corey's just dead on her fucking foyer floor. Michael is now strapped to the roof, and all the cops are like, this isn't how it works. This isn't how we do things. The sheriff finally shows up and gets out of the car and goes, it is tonight. And they start a whole procession basically saying, all right, radio silence, everyone shut the fuck up. And you hear all the cops go, copy. And it's like, I never noticed that detail. That's kind of cool. But there's a parade going through Haddonfield with Michael on the roof getting police escorted to the junkyard. You see the remnants of the truck, of the fence, of Ronnie, everybody there. They pull up the car. The entire town of Haddonfield is following. We see Julian. We see Sandra being rolled up by her sister. I'm shocked we didn't see Lindsay. Lindsay was there for a couple scenes at the bar and then once at the house and then never. Like, if anything, Lindsay should have been there. Maybe she was in the background, but she should have gotten a camera focus moment. Either way. They pull up to the base of the mulcher, crusher, whatever you want to call it, and the music has been tremendous. It's just the old theme with some orchestral bits and bobs, and it's kind of like Spider-Man 2, where it's Michael Myers gets taken off the car and passed up to the thing. Instead, it's of Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man and then passed up. Lori has her nice little hero moment of walking up. Everyone's watching, going, you know what? She's earned this. We're sorry. You've earned this. Allison turns on the mulcher. And this is, again, fuck, you could have had this moment. Hanging on for like a sliver of health. And I was expecting, grab the ankle, pull her in with me.
Yes, that's what I wanted. That's what we all wanted.
Lori boots Michael in, and he's past the point of no return. He's in no way, shape, or form able to reach her. And we see a definite kill. None of this headshot with the mask on. It is Michael Myers folding in and then head popping like a fucking tomato. Just crushed and splorped and all sorts of delicious sounds. And then we get the last scenes of Laurie finishing up her book and talking about, funeral procession, midnight procession, no gravestone, Michael's dead. And Allison's leaving Haddonfield, and then we get a doorbell ring, and Frank has dropped off a nice basket of vegetables because in the supermarket he was getting more meat, and Laurie's like, try a vegetable, Frank. And Frank goes, just want to thank you for everything that you did. Go rest, you deserve it. And she goes, what are those cherry blossoms you were talking about? And they have a nice sit down together, and we get a call back to the 78 looking through every room in the house pretty much scene at the end, to then end with Michael's mask sitting on the coffee table and good old-fashioned Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper, and we get the title card. And that, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends, is Halloween Ends from 2022. The end of the new canon, the end of the Halloween franchise. I don't want to talk about the show. And the end of our top threes.
Ooh.
Wow.
That was a ride, sir.
Yeah. Who would have thought all of that just would have been like, oh shit, yeah, it ends this. It ends this. Oh fuck, it ends this.
Yeah.
That was a fun season. I will definitely say so. Before we start talking about the movie, it was definitely an enjoyable season.
For sure.
I wasn't expecting to watch the entire Child's Play franchise, but yeah, the Chuckles Play franchise. But Rob did watch it, and there was some enjoyable moments, and I can see why you enjoy it. I will be flat out. I can see why you enjoy it. Good. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, you also brought me an appreciation, like a deeper appreciation for Abbott and Costello.
You're welcome.
I just perfect comedy that's not British, because I am a big fan of British comedy and Canadian comedy. They're the funniest people in the world. Let's just be honest. The Brits and the Canadians are fucking hilarious. Us, on the other hand, not so much. But Abbott and Costello fucking killed it back in the day, man. They were hilarious. Yeah, this has been awesome, honestly. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'll talk to them until I'm blue in the face about John Carpenter's The Thing. I fucking love that movie. And if you've ever seen my office or me out in public, you know that I love Chucky. It's my favorite. I love Chucky. He's awesome. But those are our top threes. Not everyone can just say that they have a top three. Generally, people have like a top 10. And we really had to narrow down what our tops were to do a top three. And that's why we decided singular movies or franchises. And
imagine if we just did single movies.
I know, right? Shortest season ever.
6 episodes. And now we're going to be at like 5 times that.
Yeah, right.
But seeing as we've talked about our top threes, of course, what's a top 3 without a top 10? So
yeah.
To end this season, of course, after this, we'll be having our introduction to the wintry, snowy bullshit month that is December. Instead, we'll be ending this season, season 3, with a rest of our top 10s. We'll be talking about some good old-fashioned things we talked about during the season, just some stuff we wanted to mention. There's going to be the rankings of the Universal Monsters, rankings of the Child's Play, like which ones are our favorites and so on. And to lead us into that, I think I know that our top 1 mask of this franchise, these past 4 movies, is 1978's Shape. That's number 1.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know, out of the 3 of us, where everyone else's rankings are between the 18 mask, the Kills mask, the Kills 78 mask, and Ends.
Dominique?
I think we know which one I'm going to go for.
But that's number 1. We all know that's number 1. It's like the Monster Mash.
It's true. I want to say, like, the 2018 one, like, just the way that it was, like, aged, and then when he puts it on, you can tell that it's been a very long time since he put it on. But, like, you could see all the details when he's slowly pulling it on when he gets it out of the trunk, and that's what I like about that one.
For sure. I mean, mine is definitely mentioned. I mentioned during Kills, but I love the flashback, the 78 mask in Kills, just because in comparison, I know I'm just repeating myself and y'all just heard me say this, but in comparison to the burnt mask and the mask from 18 and all of that, I mean, you can see that he's not fully become the boogeyman yet. Like, he's in 78, he's still Michael Myers, that he's still behind the mask, versus 40 years later, there's no Michael left. It's just the boogeyman. It's just the shape. That's all he is now. So I really dig that they really kind of over exaggerated the eye holes. I think it really works very well.
Nice. I mentioned it in Kills pretty much the entire time. That is a very mean looking mask. That is a scary fucking looking mask. And I will say though, I still love Ends as the mask, because like it is a continuation of that. It's a little less dark and like burnt on the side of the face, and it's more just old and weathered. It's got mold on it. It's got just all sorts of shit grown on it. It's just an old weathered mask, and I love the look of it. But yeah, those are our favorite masks. And now, who would our bloody legend be for this week? Rob, you seem like you already might know.
I mean, we got to give it to her.
Mm-hmm.
After the shit performance she gave us in Kills, she really stepped up the game. Jamie Lee Curtis, man, she kills it in this movie. She came with her A game this time. Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's not just the performance. Like, it's not just the acting. She went in. I mean, as you mentioned, yes, there was a stunt double for that final fight sequence. It was only used in 2 different scenes, being thrown over the counter, but behind the scene footage, Jamie Lee Curtis did it too, but her role just wasn't dramatic enough. So they had to get the younger body double to do the stand-in to make that look better. But
the one who, when
Jamie
Lee
Curtis
can stand back up and not go, fuck!
Right. Jamie Lee Curtis came in and she said, I'm fucking doing this thing. This is the final battle. This is the last time that I will most likely be on screen with a Michael Myers. I'm going to fucking do this fight because people are going to want to see this. They're going to be cutting holes in this. They're going to be paying attention. And if they notice that it's not me, they're going to fucking say something. So I'm just going to do it. And she killed it, man. Literally, figuratively, and literally. It was awesome. She just, yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis. Fucking amazing.
The week. Bloody legend in our hearts. And now, of course, our last 2 things to do. We got to rank it. So, on a scale, out of 10, Corey dies tonight. You're welcome.
So stupid.
You're welcome. Where would you rank Halloween Ends? And if you could, where would you rank these 3, 18 kills and ends? How would you rank them? In no bad things. I love all these movies in their own ways. I will say my favorite has to be Ends. I'm going to give Ends a 10. I loved Ends. My mindset personally was fantastic at the time. I was in a very happy place, and just seeing this movie, seeing a like definitive end to a beloved horror franchise that I was, named after. It felt wonderful to see. It felt like a nice end. I would have loved to have seen her go down with him, but damn, it's okay. I love Ends. Ends is a 10. I would probably have to say 18 is probably my second favorite, and then probably Kills. Again, every time I watch Kills, I find a new appreciation for it. And again, that's the most savage Michael we have ever seen. But 18 has that old Halloween shape type mystique that Kills kind of just goes, fuck it, full slasher mode. So that's mine.
There you go.
Dominique?
I'd agree with your rankings, to be honest. 2018, it's a continuation of the original. So that's why you see her trying to survive, and then Halloween Ends and you see her still fighting. But Halloween Kills to me just didn't have the same nostalgic. Like you said, it's 100% a slasher film. Like he just goes off because he's sick and tired of being stabbed, shot, and hit on the head too many times.
I fucking had it with all you. What is your Corey Dies Tonight ranking for Ends? 1 out of 10.
Me? Oh, I want to say I like how it ended to this one because it just brought the whole franchise back to a close for like the Laurie Strode story. I would say a solid 8.5.
Very fair. Robert too.
So, yeah, I mean, it's rare to meet anybody who likes Ends, not let alone having my co-host, the co-host with the mostest, also agree with me. Ends is a 10. I love this movie. I walked out of the theater with the biggest smile on my face. And I was the only one, because I went opening night. Everybody else was like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, a masterpiece, you moron. Like, that was exactly what it's not just what we needed, but it's what we deserved. And I'll argue till I'm blue in the face on that one, because it's a good ending. Yes, arguably, we should have met Corey and Kills. It would have made things a lot better. It would have tied the movies together really well and given us like a bow on things. That wasn't just Michael finally being killed, like turned into fucking mulch. But yeah, I love ends. Kills is going to be my second place just because of the brutality. I love a good, all-out, like, destructive slasher film. I like it when it's real brutal. We've not done it on the podcast yet. We might at some point. There's another movie, The Burning, which is I've brought up before. But The Burning is everything that Friday the 13th wishes it could have been. Friday the 13th, we get some violent moments, some real inventive kills and stuff. But The Burning, they did not hold back. But yeah, it's I love Kills just for the brutality. Again, the acting is not great, and Michael McDonald's in it. But then 18 would be my third. I like 18 because it's a really good continuation. It's nice to revisit with the characters. It's nice to get a follow-up as to what's going on. But at the same time, it's another Grandma's crazy. That's the whole movie. Grandma's done lost her mind. She's just been living out there.
Grandmother.
Go sit in grandmother's room.
Do as I say.
Yeah, not as I do. So yeah, it would be... Ends is a 10. Kills was an 8, if I remember correctly, because of the bad acting. I don't remember what I gave 18. Pretty sure I gave it a 9 or a 10 as well. And I probably gave 78 a 10, because it's a classic.
It's 78.
Best music ever. And it's our Lord and Savior, John Carpenter.
Damn right.
Man, we really went in on the John Carpenter love for season 2.
Yeah, we did. Who would have thought? Who would have fucking thought? But well-deserved
John
overall.
Carpenter.
Secondary bloody legend right there, John Carpenter. We know him. We love him. Our savior, JC, baby. John Carpenter.
That's the only JC I praise.
So, of course, to end our episodes and to end this franchise, to end this season, we have some thanks to be dealt out. And I would like to, on behalf of Rob, myself, and all the suckers out there in Spoiler Sleepover Land, Dominique, thank you very much for joining us on these 4 episodes on this journey through not only my personal favorite franchise, but also, as I'm sure, one of your top favorite franchise killers, Final Girls. It's been an absolute blast. Again, everybody coming to the table with something different that we all didn't know. There's some shit I didn't know that you dropped on me as knowledge bombs, and it was fantastic to hear and learn. So thank you very much, Dominique.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been fun. And it's fun to actually talk about horror movies, like, from different perspectives, like people who have different opinions on everything. But it's fun to actually just have a nice platform to talk about them.
Absolutely.
And you guys are really fun. Sometimes funny.
No.
Sometimes.
We're
fucking hilarious. Are you kidding me? I chuckle at our own stupid jokes all the time.
Same.
Hell yeah. Rob?
Yes, well, you already said the thank you, but thank you. You're coming back for season 3. We'll figure it out. It's going to be a shit show of a season, and we're so excited for it. And in a good way, suckers. It's a good shit show. I have to thank you, Jason Michael. Boy, howdy, have you put in the fucking work. You've been busy this year. And traveling. I mean, I was traveling, you were traveling, we were both traveling, and then the wrap up. Our schedules are busy, and you have been making the time to get these edits done, and they sound fucking fantastic. So thank you for joining me on the journey, making this something amazing and just beautiful. And I can't believe we're about to fucking take a quick break and be back with a 3rd season. That just blows my mind. It's nuts. I have to thank my wonderful partner for her just putting up with the wild schedule of recording and making the time for me to take a break from family life to get this done. Super supportive. She plugs the podcast all the time, and it's great. And a few other random thank yous I'm going to throw out there. I want to thank Anna. She was our first sponsor, Vegan Curious, formerly known as Willow Tree Kitchen. Literally the best vegan baked goods you'll ever have in your fucking life. They're delicious. They're amazing. And you don't have to be vegan to eat them, because even while you're eating them, you have no idea that they are cruelty free. There's no way.
True.
Jason Michael tried them for the first time, and homeboy loves to eat a dead animal, and he couldn't even tell the difference. So, yeah. So, Anna, thank you for being with us for the start of this wonderful season. Thanks for all the baked goods. Thanks for everything that you did for us, and just being awesome and continuing to support the podcast. I want to thank our awesome, our wonderful brand ambassador, Chachi. You want to talk about traveling? Chachi travels a lot. Him and his wife like to see the world, and they travel. And every single time he goes anywhere, he brings our merch. He wears it. He takes pictures. He sends it to us. We repost it. He gets the word out.
Mount Rushmore, dude.
Yeah. He listens to our podcast on a speaker at work. So there is a hardware store in California where people have walked by and heard us swearing about horror films. And Chachi, thank you for just always being so supportive, coming in with some ideas, one of which you'll hear in season 3. Not only that, because of an idea that he had, you'll be hearing Chachi's voice in season 3. Little spoiler for season 3. We're really excited to have him on fucking finally. So thank you, Chachi. You rock. And finally, we have to thank our new sponsor, Seamus Belial, the owner, operator, artist, magnifique of Gore Clown. He has done the damn work. He has worked with me to really curate some really cool art pieces, and we're still working on some ideas right now. We have more to come, but currently we have a trucker hat, which is very lightweight, very soft, very comfortable. We have a t-shirt. The design on that t-shirt was made by Seamus Belial himself. Fucking amazing. It has all of our segments on it on VHSs. We have a pullover hoodie that has our logo and our lettering created by Jason Michael. We have a zip-up hoodie, which has our logo on the front and the t-shirt design on the back. And we have 2 beanies, both featuring the lettering by Jason Michael, and one with our logo on it as well. So jump on over to goreclown.com and get some merch, man. It's cold as fuck out. Get a hoodie. Get a beanie.
Use the code SLEEPOVER for 15% off.
So thank you, Seamus. You rock. We love you. It's amazing. This season has been bananas. Jason Michael, who else would you like to thank?
Well, of course, before we skedaddle, I meant to thank you at the beginning of it as well. Again, teaching me different movies and showing me different movies, keeping the social media aspect alive during all of this. It's been fantastic, especially just advertising all the random shit that we're doing here. It's been fun, and you're in charge of that, and you're killing it and crushing it. It's awesome. So thank you, Rob. I need to thank all the wonderful suckers out there on behalf of all of us here. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful adventure that spanned several different segments and not just our top 3s. Our February with friends, Christine and Kristen. It's been fantastic to have everybody here talking horror movies. Dominique, again, we can't thank you enough. So thank you very much. Yes. It's been a fantastic season. Couple things before we do end. At the end of this season, we've got some winter horror episodes coming up, so we got a couple of those, and then we will have one final episode talking about the rest of our top 10s, ranking some other movies, maybe some spoilers, if you will, towards season 3. It's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely look forward to that. But as we've been hinting at for weeks now, it is finally time to announce our first winter horror episode. Next week, Rob, what are we talking about to start winter horror?
Boy, howdy, are we excited about this one. We sat down and recorded again with Dead Body Bathtub to talk about Terrifier 3. So we will be kicking off the Winter Horrorland series this December with our spew of Terrifier 3.
Dominique's favorite.
That's right.
She's grimacing.
So if you have not seen
a week prior or week after the movie came out too, so it might sound a little outdated, but it's okay.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. And if you have not seen Terrifier 3 yet, be fair warned, there are spoilers, but this is not a full-blown spoiler. As I just said, it is a spew. So if you have seen any of our live stream spoiler reviews before, you know what you're getting into. We will talk about things, but we do not break down the entire movie as we normally do. And if you like our spews, just stay tuned because there's a lot more to come.
And also, if you haven't seen Terrifier 3, actually, fun fact, everybody, by the time this episode comes out in 2 days, on Tuesday, November 26th, Terrifier 3 will be available digitally. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it before you listen.
Close your eyes and listen to it. Nope, just close your eyes. Listen to it.
Definitely go watch Terrifier 3 before that episode so you know what we're talking about and you can laugh along with the jokes.
Yeah.
It's just been a great time. So looking forward to that next week. Terrifier 3, Dead Body Bathtub. Until then, again, thank you, Dominique, for joining us on our talks about the Halloween franchise and the new canon. And because it's every day is fucking Halloween, until next week.
Happy Halloween, suckers.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Spoiler Sleepover. But the fun doesn't stop there. Go follow us over on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And of course, check out our sponsor, Gore Clown, and use code SLEEPOVER for 15% off any Spoiler Sleepover merch. So until next time, sleep tight, suckers!
Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Gore Clown Shop.
Do you love all things horror? Books? Movies? Podcasts? Of course you do. Well, come on down to goreclown.com.
Original artwork by an indie horror fan for indie horror fans.
Use code SLEEPOVER at checkout to save 15% on your whole purchase.
Oh, and did we mention? Gore Clown is the only place to get official Spoiler Sleepover merch.
So don't forget to use Sleepover to save 15%.
Stay indie, suckers!